of Nigeria were able to achieve through that. And most of us, including myself, directly or indirectly, were beneficiaries of that. You can see it in us every day. So as a politician, you can argue that that party and the leadership represented those values. Unfortunately, these days, it's the politics of not politics of ideology that I want to transform people's life. It's a politics of personality. People don't even. But yeah, only recently, as you probably remember, only recently they start telling us what they're going to do. In the past, they don't usually tell us anything about what they're going to do when they are elected into government. Is people will go and see the chief, the Oba, and they go around, throw the money around and so on for another 4 years before they start doing the same again. And people accepted that. Only of recent they start say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. Even when they say they're going to do certain things, maybe construct roads, construct hospital, even you find out where that is even done, they are shabby job, they are of poor quality. We saw some clips of those, I think it was in Edo State, whereby they did the gutter and you
Yeah.
can see, where they're supposed to use 5 bags of cement, they use one. So you see all these things happening. They just want to pretend they are doing something. So I think what is and then when you then come back to the UK, for instance, my own party, for instance, if you remember after the war, even despite the fact that the British government spent a lot of, if you could just mute that person, please.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to do that.
yeah. So if you remember, even my own party, Labour Party, which I represent the UK, if you remember after the war, I mean, they actually created the NHS, and that was at the
48, yeah.
time when the government was actually the money wasn't there to do it, but because the will was there to do it and recognize the importance of health. And as we say in Yoruba land, if you remember, we say, health is wealth.
Really.
Because when you have good health, then everything else is immaterial. Because when you have good health, you can go out and work, you can do anything you want to do. And, and that's why it's very central to labor value. And also, labor is committed to make sure no single person is left behind. Whether they're a woman, you're a man, you're a young person, you're a disabled person, you are rich or poor, you know. And of course, when you then go back, because I don't want it to become one-sided politics. When you then look at, because I also have some conservative values in me as well. So that's why I don't believe one particular, ideology is the best thing. Okay, is the best thing for our society. And to be honest with you, I think any reasonable person will look at both sides. So I always describe myself as a liberal social democrat. So I'm liberal, I'm social, I'm also democratic. So that in a way, I try to look at both sides of the coin and look at the environment and look back, look where I am, look at the future and see which ideology, which ideas, which policy I think will fit the moment and also lead us to the future. And I believe we should think like that because what is the most applicable today may be obsolete, may be old-fashioned tomorrow. And what we think doesn't work today may be, the best thing that ever happened tomorrow. Because sometimes we may introduce a new ideology and it could be too early, and then tomorrow it could be something that everybody will embrace. So that's why we also need to sense the feelings of our citizens, of the electorate, to say, okay, what are they yearning for at this point? If you look at what the issue that a lot of people are more interested in now is or concern a lot of people is about global warming. It's about changing of our attitudes to life, to commerce, to economics, to everything, and live responsibly. and also look at our environment and take care of it, our farmland and everything, what we eat, what we produce, the way we drive, the way we travel, all these things together. So you can see that there's no one fixed solution. So that means we have to sit down together, have a dialogue, weigh all the options we have, and hopefully we can find a middle way consensus somewhere where hopefully we can do something. At least it may not necessarily satisfy everyone, at least majority of people will can identify with it. I hope I was able to answer your question.
You tried. I don't want to start marking your papers. And mostly when you have warned me, you try to test you on political science subject. I'm sure most of our viewers and listeners, people who are on this Zoom meeting, also want to know, judging from your experience in politics, and also judging from the narrative and the way, what started corruption in Nigeria? What do you think? I know maybe judging from your age, you are not born when corruption started. Even though there's corruption for Foster or whatever dictionary of this world, there's corruption all over the place. Right? I'm speaking on behalf of millions of people who want to know, when did we get so endemic in corruption in Nigeria? Because we easily overlook it. We don't. We know it that is there. Everybody's corruption, fishing. It's not said. Yeah. But I want to go to the root. When did we started this business of corruption? Just according to your own.
Oh, you mean you asking me?
Yeah, of course I'm asking.
Oh, sorry.
Anything I say, I'm moderating it.
Okay. I thought you train. I thought you.
No. We will come to that as time goes.
Somebody said to me, if you forgive me, that any word that you find in English dictionary, it was coined by the West, by the English people, and therefore, you could easily associate you with them. Whether true or not, don't kill the messenger. I'm just narrating the story I was told. But if we then go back to why, when I was growing up in the 60s and and 70s and so on, I think I was discussing with somebody earlier on. I remember the little time, my formative years, when I went to spend some time with my granddad. He was a chief. And he asked me to do some running around for him. Now, sometimes when people need something, because it's about you have something I need, and then if I can't get it directly from you, is there somebody close to you that I could actually appease, find a way to do? So they used to call it sweetener. I think which in a way, when you then look at Yoruba, correct me, because we have the elders, on the platform, even though we may not necessarily see it as corruption, you probably see it as a sweetener, to sweeten the way, to grease the way, so that the road will be smoother, so that when you then want to achieve that your aim, and the road will be smoother, and then the other party, we have no choice but to say, okay, oh yeah, I think I can go along with this. And when people want to, you have a beautiful flower which they call your daughter, and then the other party have a son. They want to maybe they want to encourage both of them to to tie the knot, to marry together. And sometimes they find a different ways. Maybe they will start giving yam, they start giving banana, they start giving all sorts of things to sweeten the way. Well, I don't know whether you call that corruption, you call that, because we have different words for it. However, what I think, I also witnessed was that um, that didn't guarantee that you're going to achieve your aim. Because I saw many instances whereby, oh, thank you for yam, thank you for everything. Sorry, there's no way there. And if you think you can buy me with this, you can take your yam, your banana, your everything, and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. I've had that before when I was growing up. So I wasn't too young to hear that, even though I was little, but at the same time I was hearing all these things, and because you can't even sit on, they will ask you to kneel down, right, or sit on the floor while others are sitting on the chairs and discussing all these things. And you have the privilege, maybe they ask you to serve them palm wine. So, and they ask you, oh yeah, you come and serve me palm wine. So you have the privilege of listening to others speaking. And then you learn from all the little things they are saying. And you let it go from left here and come out the right one, or you take some lesson from that. So I could understand where all this thing come from. Unfortunately, it has now become uncontrollable to the extent that the outsiders now use it to buy us. And probably that led to, if you then go back to, during the slavery era as well, you find that the colonizers use, even the enslavers use, they will start giving our Oba and chiefs some presents and so on, which also allow them to buy influence and power, which then led to our control. And that's never stopped up to today. So corruption has always been around in one shape or another, unfortunately, even in this society, but they have systems that work. Unfortunately, that's where we fail in Africa and Yoruba. It had never been to that, developed to that disastrous proportion. But I believe it's not too late for us to retrace our way back and discover who we are as a people. And that's okay. Actually, we need to trace our way back. We are better than this. It's destroying our society. It's destroying the future of our children, both born and unborn. And we are mortgaging their future. Maybe it's not too late. So therefore, corruption is depends on who you ask. Each person will have a different definition of what constitutes corruption. But the question is, what damage or good does it do? And to me, probably it does more damage than good.
Thank you, Honorable Councillor Lambert. So, from your narratives, the way you have put things together, seems to me that most of the problem we have today evolved from our culture. Am I right to say that? I'm referring to
I
Nigeria.
won't say. I mean, where I didn't say
So
all
most
the
of the yeah.
problems. I won't say all our problems because we have some great values as well. What I'm saying is that we should, if we retrace our way back, there are some values we've left behind, which are still applicable in 21st century, which made us unique as a people. I can only speak about Yoruba because I am Yoruba and I'm of Ibadan. And I know my great grandfather actually signed the protectorate agreement with the British after the Kiriji War, the Fijabi the First, even though it's not the surname everybody know me with. So we are warriors. So I can only speak from my understanding of what it used to be. And war as a Yoruba person, Yoruba man, um, well cultured. I can only speak for that angle. I cannot speak for my brothers from the Igbo land, even though they are my in-laws, because my children come from Igbo land as well. And so I cannot speak for my brother and sister from the north, whether it's Hausa or Fulani, I cannot speak for them because I'm not from that culture. But everybody, every community, every ethnic group has certain values with their non-buying, with their respective buying. And I believe in Yoruba, that's why we have what is called Omoluabi. Before you do anything negative to your fellow brother or sister, first of all, how will I feel if this is done to me? And this Omoluabi, we think like that. We ask such questions. Even the Bible supports that. And Yoruba civilization is been around for thousands of years, even before the advent of Christianity. We just need to discover our life and our values, and we find our future in it.
Thank you. Before I take you to some other part of my discussion with you on this talk show tonight, I want to probably ask you a question to close the area of politics. Is
Okay.
there money to be made as a politician in the UK?
Sorry, I didn't get your question,
Money to
sir.
be made in being a politician in the UK? Why are you in politics?
Well, trust me, if there was money in politics to be made, I would have
In
been
the
a
UK.
multi-millionaire, if not multi-billionaire in the UK. I would have been, Of course, in Africa, yes, you find somebody who was a penniless, who couldn't even afford a bicycle yesterday. All of a sudden, he or she, I won't even say she because with the exception of women, I would say he because mostly men who have the opportunities. All of a sudden, you find him building 10 houses, 4 cars or more, huge, money in his bank account in Switzerland or UK or somewhere else or Caviar Land. But here is public service. I think, to be honest with you, that's what I love most. And remember what I said earlier about I was one of these reluctant politicians. I didn't want to go into politics. I didn't want to get involved at all. Why? Because when I saw how Papa Awolowo was denied becoming our president in 1979 and 1983, it put me off politics completely. So is the president Nigeria never had. And you can see why people still refer to him up to today. Look at all the achievements. Liberty Stadium, the TV station, the premier TV station, the university, name it, or even some of the roads built in the 50s are still, you can still find them. So that put me off politics completely. But however, because I've now accepted that UK, England is my home. And anywhere you spend 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years or more, it becomes your home. Because if you can't find it, you can't find if you can't find peace in such environment, maybe you have to ask yourself whether you have something wrong with you. Because if you spend 10 years or more in a place you still don't see it as your home, then I don't think that place the problems with you. Please don't shoot the message, just me. That's my own. So therefore I got involved, but I didn't want to get involved in politics. So when you go to sunnylambe.com, you see some of the things I've done in my life. I mean, I was involved in tenants and residents association, in community development, but I think it became more prominent, more continue to live, which is my little Lagos. So I asked myself when that young boy died, after listening to some of the young people, some of them were responsible for his death, some of them were not involved, but I listened to them. And what was very prominent in some of the issues they raised with us as community leaders was they were bored. They didn't have much to do. And some of them were even from single parents and so on. Now, of course, when I was growing up, even though I outgrown up, I grew up with a single dad as well, with family support and so on. that was no excuse to get involved in criminal activities. But that was then. We are talking about from 2000 when that happened. So our solution has to be timely as well. Have to be to respond the emergency we find ourselves. So therefore, okay, what can I do? Is about what can I do? Related to is it this American former president? They don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So when you find yourself in a situation, don't ask what other people can do, what they can't do. Ask, okay, what's my solution to this problem? So I ask myself, I'm a management consultant with expertise. Even though I don't have money, but what can I do? So I set up the Peckham Supplementary School, which young people can then benefit from, teaching them Black history, drama, maths, English, helping them with their own work and so on. Because that time was true. There wasn't much happening in our community that time. It was true, even though you may argue that that was not enough excuse for them to get involved in all sorts of criminal activities and so on. But what can we do to help them as a diversionary measure to put them to something positive? Of course, prior to that in 1998, that's when I set up the Confederation of African Professionals UK, which was meant to help, promote Africans in diaspora so that when the African countries need people to help them, in any development area of needing expertise, they'll be able to, to use the expertise that are already there in the UK from their respective communities, whether Nigeria or South Africa or Ghana and so on. So that's why we have, we set up that, group that which then metamorphosize into other things which you find associated to my name today, which you can also find details on sunnylambe.com or bbinitiative.com. Oh, so all these things is part of my own being part of the change or the
initiatives.
changes I wanted to see. So yes, so therefore, there is no, that sense of community, that sense of you know, um, you know, of a service, public service. I think that's what I admire most in this part of the world. Of course, I'm not saying that any those who are privileged, of course, when they are in cabinet and so on, yeah, they get they get some money more than those who are probably backbenchers or without responsibility. They get more money. So the more responsibility you have, the more extra money you get. Yeah, it is true. But it's not about money because I've seen some fantastic councillors, Lord Assembly members, MPs, member of parliament that doing fantastic job day and night, 24/7, 360, 65, 6 days a year. And it's not about money. And of course, that's what we need to learn from them. Of course, what I also learned about people is that we always learn all the wrong things, isn't it? We never take the positive one, take it to Africa to transform. So you find some of our own who actually left because we can blame all those who are in Africa, in Nigeria, in Ghana, and other, in other parts, Sierra Leone and so on, that they are corrupt, they're this, they're that. But actually, there are some of our own who actually left here as well, rather than help to change things. But when they get to, they come across a very big war, they say, okay, if you can't beat them, join them. And some of them actually
Recording
become
in
even
progress.
worse, probably even become worse than those, those that never left Nigeria even for a single second. So I think we need to have that sense of the balance, sense of proportion when we discussing all these things, because it's very easy for us to play the blame game. Sometimes when you point one finger to one person, perhaps when you then look at where the limiting for our pointing purpose is actually pointed to ourselves.
Wonderful. Again, I promise my viewers, I guess that I'm going to take you from A to Z, and we thank substantial part of the discussion tonight. And because this program is advert free, we have a maximum use of our time. I noticed that you are one Yoruba Nigerian counselor that has involved yourself in an ongoing campaign, a campaign of some collective, it's a part of the country called Nigeria that they're now choosing to want to go away. They are campaigning for that realization. And what do you think? Do you think they're doing the right thing? They want to go away.
Yeah.
Why will you support these groups?
Yeah, thank you, Otumba. Anybody that has known me, at least for the past 20 years or more, we know I'm very straight, very straightforward. And I look before I leap. And when I feel strongly about something, it's very difficult for anyone to change my mind.
Hmm.
Once I made up my mind, remember I said something about the Africans in diaspora and the organization I set up and why that came to being, because I genuinely believe, yes, we in the diaspora could do something. So when President Obasanjo came up with the Nigerians in diaspora, NIDO UK, I was one of the foundation members who joined. Alistair Chiodi of BenTV and Dr. Banjoko, all these fantastic people who have been the chair before, even Collins Wiki and all these people can testify today. And I think the first constitution they use in the NIDO UK South, if I could remember, I was the one who actually helped to develop it. And then when they then look beyond UK and looking through across Europe, I was also part of that. That also helped to develop the first one, even though they built on both of them later on. So what does that tell you? It tells you that yes, I strongly believe in a united, progressive Nigeria, and that has always been the case for many years. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves is this: if you keep on doing the same thing the same way all over again, what result do you expect? The same result, or do you do things differently? You've alluded, our listeners and viewers to the challenges we face. You've talked about corruption. You talk about lack of development. You look around you. If any of you have been to Nigeria recently, I was in Nigeria in January. So it's not that I saw something on telly, I'm reacting to it. I was in Nigeria in January for about a month. I walk around just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. No people taking country wood to cover my eyes. I walk around the areas I grew up. I walk about 5-10 miles. Just even my old primary school, my old secondary school, I walk around there. And I see, you could see on people's faces, they're suffering. Look at the roads. It is same roads that have been there. I left Nigeria about 35 years ago. Its own would have been there over 40 years ago. No improvement. I know how many people every month I help, either to pay their school fees or to eat. How long can we do this for? When nothing has changed for over 60 years of a marriage, no road, no hospital, no school, no security. Now, it doesn't take a genius to work out. You need to do things differently. I'll give you example earlier about when we had the Western region, what achievement, what development we had in the Western region, I was beneficiary of it. What Papa Awolowo achieved. Anyone who's old enough, we know that. And we all remember it up to today when, even after Baba had already gone to his makers. Now, 60 years on,
pandemic.
we are still struggling. Even
Yeah.
sometimes, even
Pandemic.
sometimes, schools teachers are not paid for 3 months, 6 months.
And globally.
My old primary school, you can go there, you can even go there while we're speaking on my website. Now you will see a group of children down there I took picture of. When I delivered that wing of 2 classroom, IMG Primary School, Ibadan. When I went on holiday, I saw the state of the school. Children were learning in squalor, no roof. Some of the buildings were almost collapsing on them. And I spoke to the head teacher. I said, this is what we need. And what the head teacher actually said to me, do you know what? We were given budget, but unfortunately, there's some chairmen and they chair there, they spend the money. That's why you see that on computer building over there, they haven't completed it. And look at the state where these children are learning. And I promised, I said, okay, I would see what can help. And that was 2007. And then when I came back to England, the friend gave me some money, my family, and little I had, we handed that building to them in during summer of 2010. It's there for everybody to see. Now, so many people are doing similar things. But there are certain things we as individuals can do, and there are things we government can do. And one of the people that actually, defend government in this country, I think I got in trouble with my own party. Sometimes when I say, well, government, you can't expect government to do everything because there are human beings running it. But when government officials are doing their best, we know. And when they're serving their self-interest, we know also. Unfortunately, that's the story of Africa. That's the story of Nigeria. 60 years on, no development, no road, no hospital, no school. Now, if you're in marriage that has not been productive for 60 years, you still want to stay in the same family and in the same relationship. I remember maybe it's very easy for me because I've been through it before. I've been through it before. We were young, we came together and we spent years together. We have kids and it didn't work. We sat down together. You know what? This relationship is not working. Maybe you should call it a day. I think it's the same way. After all, I don't think we came together by force. We came together as a family. Then why should it be difficult to say, okay, we can be neighbors, living side by side, supporting one another as brothers and sisters? Isn't that better than living in a country that we can't be proud of? When they're talking about fraud, 419, internet cyber fraud, they know the first country they would think about, even though Nigeria is not the best in IT. India is probably the best in IT. They are full of IT, but you don't see them committing the kind of crime we committing as Nigerians. I thought I had seen the last of that. We witnessed the 80s and 90s. When you come in, they think, yes, you're a Nigerian, they always look at you, what's he up to? So we had a little period where things were a bit better, but look at now, it's got out of control. I'm sorry to say, I'm not a pessimist. I'm not usually a pessimist. We can only get worse. And the best solution, and then before I actually give you the best solution, in 2005, I was invited to speak at the Nigeria Commission as part of the Nigerians diaspora. Um, and, and remember one of the things I said, when I heard about creation of new states and so on. And I said, we have a few states, when we had a few 19 states, most of them are even struggling to survive, and you want to make it
They're not
36.
viable. They're not viable, isn't it?
Yes, not viable, and you want to make it 36. And I think I have some crazy people, sorry to call them crazy because it's crazy, it's BAM is lunatic, for people to now want to create another few more to the 36 we have now, when some of them can't even pay salaries, no road, no hospital, no security. Isn't that crazy? And yet you see Nigerians in all institutions, in the UK, in America, even some Eastern European countries, including Germany and so on. Even in the Middle East, you see them doing fantastically well. Why is it that when we're outside Nigeria, that we do better? We are recognized, we are respected. But in our own country, it's something else, the opposite. So therefore, I'm a pragmatist. The best thing is for us to be pragmatic and say, listen, let's have individual nation self-determination. Let us, now we can now focus. And in Yoruba land, we know how to deal with Odales, Modarus, the Oles, the thieves. We know how to deal with them. At the moment, yes, they will know how to deal with them, because at the moment they have the excuse. Oh, it's the North, it's the Fulani. Okay, when the Fulani are gone, when the Igbos are gone, then we know, okay, what's your excuse now? So I'm a pragmatist.
Yes,
it's not, to be honest with you, it's like any relationship. It takes a lot of guts to say, I'm out of this relationship. Especially imagine when you have children together, you have this, and for the woman to say, I don't want to be in this relationship, or the man to say the same thing. He or she must have thought through very, very carefully and realized there's no other alternative than to say, no, enough is enough. So therefore, let my people go. Let Yoruba people go now. Thank you.
So the time to go is now.
Yes.
Now, I noticed, because as a former stakeholder in the Nigerian business, I noticed that 99% of our businesses, if it is not politicized, it's going to be personalized. It is on these two major areas of concern that we have loaded the president of our country to such a level, in fact, more powerful in evil, in terrible things. Because when you say you have a powerful president, you expect the powerful president to at least oversee, to make sure that there is a good governance in place. We don't have good governance. So the point I'm trying to make is, as I speak, today, the Nigerian president or his Nigerian people have, attended the 76th section of United Nations. And he has spoken. For some reasons, I have not listened to what he said. I have not even want to bother myself on it. And I'll tell you why. Because I have the idea of how the present, most of these despotic presidents in Africa, especially in Nigeria, going there just to take advantage of living where they work, just to go to United Nations to see beautiful things, even though they are unable to replicate it, because maybe they don't have what it takes. They can't raise the bar. They can't go higher. They can't think of, oh, I saw this, compared to one man who saw beautiful things in America, the person who started Dubai. He only saw one good thing in the medical services in America, and said, look, I want this thing I want you to carry this. And he started developing a desert. Today, Dubai is one of the best places in the whole universe as I speak. That is somebody who is probably developed up there. But most of African countries leaders, they are not developed. They can't decipher. They don't know the difference between bad and good. Because if you know the difference between bad and good, you should be able to know that denying people not making electricity, basic things like you mentioned before, no good roads, no Medicare, no schools, no education, no, basic things of life. It's a thing of the head. I cannot afford to go to sleep while my family have not eaten. So the question now is, what do you say to those who still cannot see that? They still cannot see why you and others are campaigning to leave a country that has a 60-year-old child, and that child cannot speak or talk or do anything, is impotent, is everything. And you now negotiate and say, you know what? Why don't we sit down and rearrange, reappraise, readdress, put things together and fix this problem? And one of the solutions people like you and many others have proposed has always been wanting to talk. But then the government of Nigeria refused. Why do you think the people in power refusing that kind of offer?
Thank you, sir. There's a Yoruba proverb that says, "Amukun eru ewo." When okile nwo ewu
Oh,
sale. Yes. We may be looking at everything on the surface, the corruption and everything. Maybe we actually look at how Nigeria was actually founded. Because we come, as much as we try to pretend, it wasn't a faulty, shaky, unstable foundation. We are just fooling ourselves. Because anything you build on false foundation, we all know
Going to crumble.
it won't work. Even some Christian will argue that, if foundation is already shaky, what can the righteous do about it? So you can look at all these things, you can find the answers from your question. But let's take it a bit further. Um, Nigeria is a very complex country. We all know that. Just like any country. Look at Britain, for instance. You see an MP going to prison because he crossed the line without mentioning name. Even you see of recent, one of our own who was an MP who was driving and got involved in a traffic offense, and the person thought he could get away with it. You see what happened. They have a system that works. Unfortunately, even when we have a system that works, what we try to do is to undermine it. And I've seen so many examples that even some of us who are actually here, you expect to go and transform Nigeria. They will come to you rather than go to the right channel and do the right thing, invest in meeting the requirements. No, they spend more time trying to investigate how to circumvent the requirements. It's like it's in our blood to go through the back door. So even when we have a Yoruba nation or Arewa nation or whatever nation, we still need to orientate our people. That's just the beginning. Because there are so many generations had been damaged. And I believe about 65% of our population or less or more is actually young people. And those young people, their life already been tarnished, been damaged. I'm sorry to say, even almost beyond repair. So you can imagine the kind of generation that come after them. So, and with this kind of leadership we have, is what led these children, the young people, these youth to where they are and what they have become today. So no system works in Nigeria. Everybody is just going there, they're going to Abuja to get their location, come back. Some of them don't even know what's happening in their constituency. I know how many times a week I go to my constituency to talk to local people to see what issues they are concerned about. And if it's not something I can do on my own, work those who are more senior than myself, either my London Assembly member or MP, or even the leader of my borough. How many of our people actually know who their local councillor is? The only time you see them in Nigeria is when there's an election, when they need election. You see the poster and probably giving them 10 naira, maybe 500 naira or 1,000 naira. And then they go to party and spring. Then you see a governor or minister or commissioner going to a party, I donate this money. Now, whose money is he or she donating? In most cases, men. They're donating our money, your money, public money. They have free access to public powers, commonwealth. It becomes personal wealth. We need to look at all these things. And this is how our society has been bastardized, destroyed. But it's not too late. That's why I'm saying we have an excuse now. Oh, it's Buhari. Now quickly coming back to the issue of President Buhari. To be honest with you, because I was around when he came as a military, officer during coup, before he and Idiagmo were booted out. And I witnessed, why war against indiscipline when they introduced and all the rest. I was extremely impressed, and I want people that actually support. Let's give him a chance, even though I don't have a vote as as somebody outside Nigeria. But I was so impressed. So there was so much expected of him. Unfortunately, he let the people down. Why? It's not just because he's a president, because as a president, I believe if you're a president, either man or woman, if a man, you're father of the nation. If a woman, you're mother of the nation. You're no longer just representing your Fulani people, or Yoruba people, or Igbo people, or Hausa people. You represent them because your leadership should transcend ethnic divide. This is where it failed. Despite the atrocity of the Fulanis, as a leader, as a father of the nation, if he had come out and said, enough is enough, I'm not going to allow this, forget about the Boko Haram, we know is a special case, because he promised that nothing has been done, but at least wasn't as bad as now the Fulani going on rampage. As the father of the nation, if he had come out and say, you know what, no, I'm not going to accept this, whether you are from my clan or from my ethnic group or not, this is not acceptable, and put all the security measures around that, and call a national meeting or something, saying, okay, well, how do we move forward? Trust me, there are some people, including myself, who will have supported, let's give you another chance. But that chance has been blown. It's never going to come back again. I told you before, I can only speak for myself, don't speak for anybody else, but I know where I stand now. Yoruba people must be given opportunity to lead themselves. Yoruba people are over 65 million, plus those in Brazil, in Trinidad and Tobago, in other countries, and so on. We entitled to have our own nation. There are some Eastern European countries with about 30,000 or 500,000 who have their own nation. Once we can work with the new, whatever is left of Nigeria, we can work together as neighbors. I don't want to wait another 65 years, another 60 years or 61 years of my life, of my children's life, and the generation unborn before we know it's not working. Let's do it now.
Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to ask you, it's not to be with your permission, because I can see urge from a viewer, I mean from people on this meeting, they might want to ask you. But if you say you don't want to answer questions, and don't want to answer or take any question, it's your prerogative. It's your show. I'll be too happy to make that not possible. I will just say, well, we cannot take questions. But if you want to take questions, after I have one or two more questions I want to ask you, then we just give maybe the last remaining minutes of the show to people to ask questions, maybe for 1 minute, and then you can also answer them. Is this something you want to consider? Do you want to take questions from our viewers and everybody?
No, please let them. I mean, I'll mention also to I'll pause a moment.
You
If
can
you
ask me a
ask me a
question.
question,
The one you
if
cannot
I
answer,
don't have an answer,
you
you
just
can't force me to
you
answer
just
it.
tell them
But
pass.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will allow that to happen in another, say, 10, 15 minutes. We still have some time to play with. Now, my honorable counselor.
Yes, sir.
For those who still don't believe in your story of after 60 years, those who still want to stay in this contraption, in this environment, you and I cannot force them. But what will you want to say to those who want to leave? What benefits is in need if Yoruba nation leaves or separate themselves? What are the benefits that they are not getting?
Thank you, Otumba. I can't blame them. Those who are reluctant to join at the moment, I cannot blame them. I told you earlier, I was one of those people in the last few months. I made up my mind. All the killings and so on, I was waiting for our president to respond positively. Then, and unfortunately, it's too late. No, it's too late. No, it's already late. So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that yes, I can't blame people for taking their time to process things because I was similar situation with them before. So we need to respect those people's space. We have to do more convincing. It's like anyone in a marriage, an abusive marriage. Do you know how long a woman stays in a married, abusive marriage, being beaten, being battered for many years, until one day say, no, I've had enough, I'm going. Or even to some degree, some women could actually go to the extent of killing the husband. We've seen so many cases like that because he's had enough. And you can see what is happening, even despite all that, people are saying, let's stay together, let's stay together. And then you see the killing, you see the response from the government and so on. It's too late. So to those who are taking their time to make up their mind, I can understand in any relationship, you consider the children, especially where children involved. We have intermarriages and so on within a different community, within our different nationalities. I can understand that. Even my own ex-wife is from the Igbo land, Benda Igbo, Ibuzo, Olu, and some people are married to the north. Maybe, maybe I will have married somebody from the Fulani Hausa as well, if I stay in Nigeria long enough, because I used to travel during those days when I was doing sales. I was going over the country, so maybe I will have. Maybe God didn't want me to be, a polygamy.
Well,
Maybe that's why I said, you know what, go to EU. Well, jokes apart. Anyway, so yes, coming back to the question you asked, I can't blame those. We can only let them. We have to convince them. Why? It's just like any woman in abuse relationship. When you say no, come my husband, my children, his father of my, I can't. No, it got to a time because I remember my sister, my blood sister, my senior sister went through abuse, and it took a while for her, but the decision has to be ours. It took a while to say, no, what, I'm leaving the father, the first husband of my life. I'm leaving him to, even to steal my own until, if possible, in future to find somebody else. It
to
takes a
find
lot
a
of
peace of
God
mind.
to do that, to find a peace of mind. So for people who are reluctant to ditch Nigeria at the moment to embrace the future which Yoruba nation and other nationality represent. I can understand. And I'm not going to disrespect them for that. And don't forget, when we got our independence as well, there are those who did not want us to have an independence. Also, when we had this amalgamation together, remember, even the North didn't want much of it. So I don't see why now people say, let's go our different ways, but remain brothers and sisters, living next, side by side each other, working together. Because people are looking on us, other countries around the world, they are looking at, we are only black nation left.
Okay.
And that is why, and civilization Yoruba is thousands of years old, even before Jesus Christ. And we cannot allow that to fail.
Councillor Lambert,
Yes.
I've had a guest on this platform. Is a lawyer, and he has argued that
Yes.
despite all this, the problem we are going through with, we are going through in Nigeria, they find a way of making a case for a resolution that can be resolved. Yes, I know very well. I'm aware of what you have said. I understand that you have used the example of a relationship that after about 60 years or whatever that is not working, or a child born in the relationship that is for 60 years old and is still not functioning, that people should start discussing how best to rearrange things. Now, I'm thinking that this relationship is not the same as in a man and a woman. So we're talking of relationship of a country where one segment or one part of that country, if we want to use this just an example, a country that was matched in three places, three parts, the north, south, and the west, and or three regions, if you want to put it that way, maybe about 3.5 regions, because of the during the time of where we have the Bendel, is it Bendel or what is called in that?
Yeah, Bendel says, yeah.
So
Bendel.
I still want you
Midwest, sorry, Midwest.
Midwest, sorry, yes,
Midwest, yeah.
That's Midwest. I still look in the eye and say, talk to those who say, no, we want to continue to stay in this contracted place. Yes, you said it, we cannot force them. But I still want you to look at them in the eyes, because if you want to take something from a child, in most cases, if you want to take black from him, you must show him white. If you want to take white, show him something. And then when you take it, you might not give him back to. What are the benefits? I asked you the question before. What are the benefits of separate of Yoruba people going there? Because also some people are saying, you cannot, you cannot do all this kind of thing. Just in 2 minutes, because I want to leave the floor open. Those of you who want to ask my guest question, please do so electronically. Raise up your hand. Raise up your hand.
Yes. Tumba, thank you for your last question. I remember when we were growing up, and we used to keep crawling and go and chill out, weekends and so on. I think there are 3 sets of friends. There are some friends I say, let's go. They don't even know where it's going to end, because we may start in Ibadan, find ourselves in Abeokuta, and from Abeokuta find ourselves in Ijebu, and we just, enjoying life, our youthful life. And then you then have another set of, those one will not ask questions. They just ready to go. Sonny, let's go. I'm going to be ready in an hour. And then the other set of friends will say, okay, where are we going? How do we get there? When are we coming back? They will ask all these questions. That's second group. Then the last group, sorry, I'm not going. They don't even want to know the details. Then perhaps maybe you just don't need to worry yourself too much on the third one. And also the first one, they're your loyal customer, loyal friends. They already see the vision where you're going and they trust you. They are ready to go. Then those you need to do more work on and those in the middle that they need convincing that we're going to have a great time. I think the same principle applies to the issue of Yoruba nation we're talking about. They know what they have at the moment, but they don't know what is ahead. They don't want to jump from fry pan into fire. And they are similar to those who did not want to subscribe to independence when Nigeria was fighting for independence, or they didn't want to the amalgamation and so on. They're the same kind of people. They prefer, the British to continue to rule us because it suits them, they feel comfortable. Just like want to go out of escape from slavery. There are some slaves that say, no, I don't want to go. I'm loyal to the master. Where I see some running away, even some to the extent of even harming their master in order to get this freedom. So we have to respect each other's space, convince them. Those who are not ready, because I was in the same group before. I look before I jump. I'm intelligent enough to weigh all the options. And maybe these people are as well. Especially when you see certain leadership from different groups popping up here and there. We don't, they don't want to respect one particular leadership. Everybody wants to become a leader. Nobody wants to be a follower. For instance, when I decided to get involved, I've been involved with the Yoruba Yoruba Nation Global Directory, for instance, for some time, and I give them my expertise and my commission, help them with with economy, business, employment, and skills development, strategy, for instance, and policy. We help with that with our own expertise. And all of my colleagues, we do our best to support. Whereas there are some who will say, no, who made them the leader? Who made them the umbrella group? We have our own umbrella group. And I've seen so many groups who invited me to be in their own umbrella group. But I can't blame them because we have divergence of views. Sometimes when you want to go somewhere, imagine you want to go from here, for instance, to Nigeria. You find some people that will take, bargain flight that will take them to Boku or Turkey before, or even sometimes UAE before it goes to Nigeria. Whereas me, I just like one-way traffic, especially I don't enjoy traffic that much. So, flying. So I will take me straight there, and back. So we're all different. And we have to respect that difference. And that's what makes us unique as a people. Therefore, the language we use, the way we address each other, we have to convince each other why actually we're on the right path. Even though we may not be certain, even look at the time of when the people of Israel wants to leave Egypt, for instance. When Moses tried all his best, there are some people who are reluctant. They say they want to stay there. Even halfway through, when they managed to get through all the orders on the way, there are some people say, why did you bring us there? Look at no food, no drink, no this, no beer, no, So therefore, there's nothing you can do that will ever please everybody. But leadership is about making sure you have a vision. So therefore, whichever group, this is the vision of where we're going. And these are the steps we believe will be taken to get us there. And then those who are reluctant, but for certain reason, when they see that clearly spelled out, outlined in front of them, you don't even need too much persuasion for say, I'm going to go this way. And that's how I decided to join this group, to offer my little expertise and experience I have, which I've been doing for a few months now, on behalf of the organization I represent, which is Yoruba Councillors and Leaders UK.
I'm told you moved because I'm told you moved your group based on the new umbrella that has been found, because
Nope.
A lot of
No. Any.
no,
Okay.
let me land because we
Okay. Okay.
this is the argumentative part of it now. The point I'm trying to make is this: I noticed that the project has been slowed down for so many reasons. One of the reasons why the project Yoruba actualization has been slowed down is because they don't have a central body where others can come from above down, even though the growth of any nation should be from below to the top. But now, couple of days ago, I noticed that you are also jubilating that finally not a group, a platform has been found called Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, which is going to accommodate. There's so many rooms, thousands of rooms are in that building that will accommodate everybody, and everybody that have different platforms like yours can continue to function normally, because as time goes on, there will be a time when the realization of this quest for having a Yoruba land, your group can become a pressure group, can become an agency, can become a commission, can become different kind of things. I'm very happy to notice that. So, how happy are you with the formation of this new umbrella that is Europe, which was launched a couple of days ago?
Let me quickly make this abundantly clear, and I'm glad that it's been recorded. Yorùbá sọ pé ojú kan làdá ń ní. My support for Yoruba Nation Global Directorate is unshakable, it's unmovable. And I have not committed myself to any other so-called umbrella group. However, as a leader in the Yoruba community, and not just Yoruba community in this country, this part of the world where I live, in the UK, who does not represent just my own political party, which I mentioned earlier on, the Labour Party, because we are, we have different political parties as Yoruba, in that group. Therefore, if I'm invited as a community leader to any group, I will attend. I will attend as a Yoruba citizen.
Even if your group
no, I'm coming. No group owns me. Let me make that clear. No group owns me. I give, I don't take. And when I decided to leave any group, I will do that because it's the right thing to do. I do not belong to any Yoruba group. Any Yoruba group that says I'm a member of that group should tell me and publish it. And when I join them, you should tell me I'm invited to any group. And as a Yoruba citizen, and this one of, remember what I said before, I do not play tribal politics. Even as a politician, as a Labour politician, when I'm invited to a forum whereby I can benefit from, even if it may belong to another party, maybe like a conference, we go there. This is one thing that we need to learn, even in Africa, especially Nigeria as well. We don't see politics that do or die. It's a politics of ideology.
I'm sorry to interject you. My interjection is this.
Please do.
I want everybody listening to you to understand your take on issue of the Yoruba campaigners, because I don't use the word agitator anymore, and I'm happy majority of us have agreed to a substitute campaign for agitation. Now, are you not concerned that there are so many splinters, so many groups have not been working for the movement to at least to make progress? Are you saying, which is fine, because I remember the leadership of this program insisted that everybody and anybody who had belongs to almost 280 groups, they can keep their party, I mean their relationship, they can stay in their groups, they can use their platform or whatever, but there's a need for us to have one umbrella where we can have a central body. Are you saying this central body that was inaugurated a couple of days ago, are you saying you're not in support of it? You get my question?
If I want to give you a straightforward answer, I will say yes, I'm not in support. Okay. However, I'm coming. However, let me qualify that. Who am I? Because I don't play silly game. Who am I to tell people what to do? I'm not in the place to tell people what to do. They are matured enough, visionary enough, intelligent enough to see whether what their actions is counterproductive or not. And also, I remember I said that I'm a community leader, both politically and as a civilian. So therefore, if I'm invited, because if somebody tells you that, imagine you and I didn't know each other, and somebody says something terrible about you. If I had not had any dealing with you, I was not there. I haven't had TV program on Ben TV with you before. We haven't met at parties and so on. How will I know what to say about you? If somebody come and give report about Otumba Olabode Oseni, I probably won't have anything to say. My colleague that we are also on the Yoruba Nation Global Directory, a few of them are on this program tonight. Now, I actually encourage when we discuss, I say, please go there. Go there and listen to what they are saying. How we do the same. We can compare notes and see how we see the difference and what we can do to bring all of us back home. If you spoke to any member of leadership or Yoruba Nation Global Directory, they will tell you that I've engaged them on numerous occasions, including probably in the last 48 hours or 72 hours. We need to find a way to reach out wider. And they do that. They expect and they encourage organizations to send 3 members to the directorate to represent them. And that is why you have myself and you have Councillor Martins, probably if he hasn't left, who is also on the directorate. The reason why we haven't had a third one, because I insist that it has to be a woman. Because we can't have 3 men representing us and be proud of it. And we wait until have a third person that is a woman so that we have our 3 representatives on directory. And this is why we say to all my colleagues listening or watching this program on whatever channel, please send your 3 representatives to the directorate, Yoruba Nation Global Directorate. Right. Enough of the duplication of these groups, umbrella groups, is not leading us anywhere. That's what I would say.
Fantastic. Now, I'm very proud to hear you saying what you are saying. I have no quarrel. I have no argument. I am not going to take it honestly further than where you want us to leave it. But the last question I want to ask you now, because you are in it, you are one of these players and stakeholders of this movement. Are you saying, say to the whole world, because like you rightly said, you demanded that you want to know whether this thing is being recorded, because the prosperity will judge you on whatever you believe in. I have no doubt in my mind whether the other 2 members of your UK councillor who have moved your members to Global Directorate. The question again is, are you saying to me that there's no need to have a central body of this moment that would be responsible to provide for a central account, a banking arrangement, a central legal department for everybody, for all the members of this movement.
Um,
Let me finish. I just because
mm,
I know exactly what I just want to find out. I just want to find.
okay.
There are so many
Okay.
benefits. A legal. Now, you tell me what exactly is wrong between your global and global directorate and others who are saying we need to have a one umbrella. All of you, global directorate is welcome. Every platform, YNN, YDC, Ilana Paja, Ilana whatever, all of them, they will have to maintain at least a kind of one body that we can use to move this project forward. You are saying now to me, you don't want a central board. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You just said.
I never said that.
Okay, what is that?
Let me make it clear to you. We already have an umbrella organization, which is Yoruba Nation Global Directorate, and I'm making that abundantly clear. No, you asked me a question.
I see. No, that's fine.
No,
that's fine.
let me finish. Let me finish, please, because I want my answer to be unambiguous. I want to be clear as possible. I have no vested interest in Yoruba Nation Global Directorate. I don't get paid. I became part of them only a few months ago when I saw the way they're organized. They are not another group. They are an umbrella group. They have bank accounts. Now what they are saying, anybody that wants to be part of them, any group that's already in existence or new group, they should just send 3 representatives and they will incorporate them and find them roles to play. We are going to the same destination. We already have a well set up organization in place. To be honest with you, I was on that program yesterday. I think, was it yesterday? Was it when
day before yesterday?
When Professor Akitoyi, addressed? To be honest, I was actually disappointed, what Baba said, because I was also on Yoruba Global Directory. This is why I say I attend these things in order for me to be able to speak authoritatively on something, not that them say. When Baba gave his support, I'm very unambiguous when he said it, that he fully support the Yoruba Nation Global Directorate. I was on that meeting, not that somebody told me. I was in that meeting.
How long ago is this? How long ago is this?
My dear Otumba, it's irrelevant.
It is relevant. It is relevant. How long ago is this? That Global Directorate was given. Yeah, okay, go on.
No, my dear brother, we and I have known each other for a long time.
Yes.
Now, this is where I probably have something in common with the British or English. My word is my bond. If I say something to you today, in 20, 30 years, I want you to be able to rely on it, and also has legal implication as well. Everything I'm saying tonight, sir, you can quote me on it. This is where how confident I am about what I'm saying. I told you how reluctant I was to join the train of the self-determination because I believe we could still salvage Nigeria. It took me a while to reach that conclusion. Now, Nigeria has reached a point of no return, and the only option is for us to go our different ways, to have this divorce, this marriage, and then we live together as brothers and sisters next door. And the same principle applies to what I'm saying to you, sir. I'm part of Yoruba Nation Global Directory, I said a few times, representing Yoruba Councillors and Leaders UK. That's the group whereas I also know that some of our members who also represent, go to another group where they represent. I can't force them. But I know what I stand for. Any politician that doesn't know what he stands for, you'd be worried of that person.
Okay. Yeah. Councillor, I genuinely appreciate you. And like I said, I want to repeat, for those of you who want to ask my guest one question because of time, please raise up your hand and I will definitely allow you to talk. But before I do that, I want you to don't need to agree with me, Pastor Lam. We know each other for a long. The point I want to make is the point.
You are doing your job. You are doing a great job at it.
The point I'm trying to. I told you we're going to start cold, calm, meet and greet, and gradually we're going to get to this point. I already warned you because
I know you for a while. Don't worry.
Exactly, because I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I can measure. I have a parameter that I use, a kind of a yardstick that I use to measure the temperature of all the people who are on this journey. 95% of people who are supporting, who are in this journey, are doing, of course, all of them are doing it voluntarily. They're not making money out of it, apart from those rogues, whatever. But that's fine. The point, all of them are saying, we need a central body. We need a central body. UK is a country, even though they're living with three other countries or whatever. Everybody is saying we need a central body. Are you saying the central body they're asking for is global directory? Before I ask people to comment.
It's on record. It's on record.
That's global directory. Okay, all right. I'm going to give for that. I'm going to allow people to ask questions. Please raise up your hand. It's getting to a hot part of it, but please be reasonable. Ask your question. And if it's a kind of a contribution you want to make, please go straight and make that contribution. I've seen Femi Balola. I've been raising his hand. I beg of you, I have a timer here. I need to manage the time. 1 minute, please. Your time starts now. Femi Babalola. Ekale, yes.
Ekale.
Can you please minimize the noise and the background, please?
What is that again? Mama, what's that again?
Please, if you can minimize the noise at the background, please.
And this, and that.
Okay, I need to go to Samson Adimuye. Please, what's your question? 1 minute, please.
Good evening, all. It's rather unfortunate. I don't know why we're speaking English in this program. I mean, is it? Anyway, we're all getting it wrong.
I like choose your language. You can speak Yoruba, sir.
Right. Okay. Because you've been speaking English.
No. That's fine. We said it.
Baba, I've made my choice. I don't want my 1 minute to go wasted. So let me just use my 1 minute.
Don't worry.
Right. It's rather unfortunate that we are not doing things within the right realms of leadership. Now, who gave Ilano, Global Directorate, YSM, the mandate? We are all still working very, very selfishly. We are not actually working for the Yoruba people. We are self-serving. It's as simple as that. Because if we weren't self-serving, a lot of us would be magnanimous, tolerant, and be fair in focusing on what is necessary to do for the Yoruba people and not what to do for ourselves. Now, if I were to sit down and say, okay, I need to evaluate a group as a leadership, what are the criteria to choose a leader? In all our experiences, have we actually drawn a table and say, okay, this table is for Ilano, this table is for Global Directorate, this table is for YSN? We're going about the whole thing very wrong because we are all self-serving. At some point, we all have to find a way to have some sort of renaissance, some sort of rebirth, or something like that. We need to focus on 60 million, not ourselves, not me, not us, not 100 of us, but 60 million people. We are getting it wrong. So my question is this: who has the Yoruba people given a mandate to? And if you're going to take power for the sake of the Yoruba people, you have to do it in the whole honesty, with complete altruism. All of this we're doing right now, we are letting our people down very, very poorly. and we're not moving any forward, we are disappointing our people. Thank you. That is my question. Who gave you the mandate?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Motekun. Well, Sonny Lambert.
Thank you, brother. I mean, we've met on the few programs before, and thank you, Otuba. Now, I'm not here representing the Yoruba Nation Global Directory, so therefore, I have no right to respond on their behalf. However, if I want to respond as a Yoruba citizen myself, also somebody who's been following the conversation, I think Amotekun is absolutely right. We're spot on. We need to be honest with ourselves. Yorùbá sọ pé àfàgbàfẹ́ nìkan ni ò jẹ́ káyé gún. Mo ga jù ẹ́ lọ, ó ga jù mí lọ. Everybody wants to be a leader. We don't even know whether, we don't even look ourselves, whether I even fit to be a follower. Well, that's not for me to answer that. So I think we need to look at ourselves. I've seen the last few weeks how many groups have been formed and inviting me to, and those who are close to me will testify to this. I said, no, I'm not interested in joining any group. However, when you are doing an event, even the last 3 days, when you are doing an event, if I have the time, I will come and support you. Before I became part of this Yoruba Nation self-determination movement, I'm a Yoruba person. I've been supporting my community and other communities. So therefore, if I'm invited to any community event, as long as it's not a proscribed organization, you will find me there supporting them. If I have the time, you will find me there. Thank you.
Mr. Councillor, I wanted to give another chance to Mr. Femi Babalola for 1 minute. And please, the issue was the noise at the background.
Okay.
Please, Mr. Babalola.
Ẹ̀kalẹ̀ kú ètò. Pẹ̀lú Adélẹ̀lẹ́ látàláfíà.
Àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Nǹkan tí mo rí nípa nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyí, ṣe rí tí wọ́n bá dá ẹgbẹ́ lẹ̀ tó bá ti di pé bóyá wọ́n ń jà sí ipò, ìgbẹ̀yìn ẹgbẹ́ yẹn ò kí ń dá o. Kò ní lọ síwájú ó pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó bá orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ibi tí Nàìjíríà délé nìyí. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ jẹ́ kí a wá àtúnṣe kíákíá láti yẹ ká gbogbo wa ká fi ohùn ṣọ̀kan, láti yẹ kí àwọn tó jẹ́ international tó lè support, láti yẹ kán lè support wa dáadáa. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ìmọ̀ràn mi nìyẹn, because ẹgbẹ́ ti pọ̀ jù. Tí ìfẹ́ bá dẹ̀ wà, ibẹ̀ ni àṣeyọrí máa ń wà. But tó bá ti sí ìfẹ́, ó máa kù díẹ̀ káàtó. Torí àwọn tí à ń bá fà á, they are two things tí wọ́n ní lọ́wọ́. They are anarchy in the government and autocrat. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ rántí dáadáa, autocrat, nǹkan tó bá fẹ́ náà fẹ́ o. Anarchy kò ń gbọ́ èdè ẹlòmíì o. Àti lè bá wọn jà láti ẹbí ká lè ṣàṣeyọrí, I need a very serious, aggressive organization. Kì í ṣe pé ká máa gbébọn ká máa jà o. Aggressive with unity to say no, we don't want this. Àwọn níyẹn lọ́wọ́ already. Ó kù fún Yorùbá bá láti lè níyẹn báyọ̀ ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Adélẹ̀lẹ́ látàláfíà o.
Ẹ ṣé sà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ yín alàgbà Fẹ́mi Babalola. Is one of us who run for senatorial district somewhere in his.
That's just sir.
Is one of. Alàgbà Bakaya, I'll come to you in a second. I've seen Yeye Ade okay raising up her hand before. Please, if I can allow her to quickly make a contribution or a question. Yeye Ade, can you please unmute yourself, please?
Oh, thank you very much, sir. And thanks for your contribution, Councillor Sonny Lambert, and also Yoruba councillor and leader. I can relate very well to what you have been saying in the last hour, and your background I share. The same that Ilela Lamangu Kato Somoluruko. This is the value you brought from homeland to abroad. And I'm just wondering where the mindset of our politicians have gone. With due respect to you, sir, Most of our politicians, man, woman, and others, are plus or minus your age. Like Otumba's asked earlier on, how much money have you embezzled since being in tenure? To round up, is there any hint you can say that keeps your mindset going till today in your political journey?
Thank you, my sister. If you probably remember what I said earlier in terms of how many money do have I chopped, and I said in this part of the world, you serve, you don't chop money. Even if you want to chop money, there even no room for you to chop money. Why? Because they have systems that work. They have systems that work. And to credit to the British, they actually left us workable systems before they left. And what I also noticed about our own people here, even in this part of the world, not even Nigeria, they will invest in looking for a loophole, looking for how they can circumvent the system, rather than looking for ways to meet the requirements. So many times I've seen it. And I remember what I actually said to some of them. I say, we destroy Nigeria and Africa, and you want to come and destroy the only place we can call home left. I'm sorry. Get out of my sight. And that's why I say to some. So my sister, I don't chop money. Even when I want to chop money, there's no opportunity to chop money. And also, and on serious note, actually, if you go and check my record, even before I became politics by accident, which is a long story, by accident, I didn't want to be in politics. However, if I share this with you and the viewers and listeners, you may not believe it. It was actually Mama, my godmother, Omotola Ojiran, Neil Awolowo, Papa Awolowo's first daughter, who died last year. I remember she came to London, and I pick her up at the Liverpool Street and went to the West End, and we did some shopping, and then taking her to our daughter's chemist house in Hertfordshire. And he said, Sonny, you thinking about going to politics? I said, Mommy, Mama down there, money politics get. I mean, money babari. You know what Papa went through. I was in Nigeria. I was with you, and that put me off completely. He said, no, but you can go into politics here, and then but don't go into Nigeria. Don't let them destroy you. Lo and behold, you know what happened? A few months after, then my party then sent the invitation. I'll say anybody that's interested in going to, want to stand, they should express their interest. And that's how I go into politics. And you then see, I live in Peckham. I've spent all my life in Peckham. But guess where I represent? South Bermondsey. And you know South Bermondsey very well. Anybody that has been in UK for long, or especially in London or South London, we know South Bermondsey is an area where those days you probably want to live, even if they give you free. But guess what? The people there, they see me as a foreigner, but yeah, they see me as one of their own, and they embrace me. I've been serving my second term. Hopefully, who knows, if I'm selected by the grace of God, they probably give me their vote again. I actually came first overall in that world election at the last election 2018. So you can serve people in any capacity God uses you to serve. And whatever role you find yourself, this is what I believe, whatever role you find yourself, which as a Christian, even Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 to 14 tells us, some of us will become pastors, we are apostles, and so on. Just be even cleaner, just be the best cleaner and be best of anything, any role you find yourself. And that's what I try to do every time. Hey, you are muted.
Yes, sorry about that. Again, like I said, because of time, and I must also tell the world that there's another meeting I'm supposed to, be. I'm going to. I have nothing less than about 5 more minutes. I'm going to go to Alagba Bakai. Bakai, please, 2 minutes, and I will allow now to talk. I also have somebody reserved to round up. and I have to bring this talk show to an end. Alagabakai, quickly, please.
Okay, ẹ̀kálẹ́ o, mo kí àwọn bàbá wa Sunny Lambe. Ìbéèrè mi á fẹ́ tó bí oríṣi méjì àbí mẹ́ta.
Lálẹ́ ìkọlẹ̀ máa ráyè o, torí time.
Ẹ pápọ̀ sẹ́yìn ọ̀kan, ẹ bọ́ndù ẹ̀, bọ́n ṣe máa ń pákéjì ẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀ once and for all.
Okay, sir.
Ẹ pàdé.
Ìbéèrè alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ tí mo fẹ́ béèrè yín lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin bàbá mi ni pé mo kí ni perception yín. There is one northern man to challenge all the intellectual wa gbogbo àwọn leaders wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ń pe ẹnìyẹn ní Hakeem Baba Ahmed. Ó ní pé àwọn ni determiner. Àwọn ni more population, àwọn ni more state, àwọn ni local government. So for that reason, àwọn ò lè fill the second position. Wípé so táwọn bá tẹ̀ fẹ́ lọ sí 14. So wípé àwọn pọ̀ jù wá lọ. Wípé ẹni yòówù tó bá tẹ̀ wá sí president, àwọn náà làwọn máa control rẹ̀. Ó sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, àwa Yorùbá ló fi ń bá wí. Wípé kò sí agbára kankan lọ́wọ́ wa. Ohun táwọn bá decide, àwọn sì àṣìgbé ni. Látìgbà tó ti sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn láti ibi ìjẹta nísìnyí, mi ò tí ì rí àwọn Yorùbá wa kankan kí wọ́n folésì kankan. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ nìyẹn. Ìbéèrè lẹ́ẹ̀kejì, as you rightly said, gbogbo àwọn ọba lọ́ba wa ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọn ò ṣe ẹyọ kan, a dẹ̀ nídìí wọn nínú ìjọba tá a fẹ́ ṣe yìí. Nítorí pé oníkálukú state rẹ̀ ló ń kálukú ń ṣe. Kódà gan ẹlòmíì gan tó yẹ pé local government nìkan sọ. Ó yẹ kí gbogbo àwọn lọ́ba yẹn, ó yẹ kí pàdé kan tó máa kó gbogbo wọn papọ̀. Ó yẹ kó máa wáyé. Kí ni nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe dádì wa tó fi jẹ́ pé gbogbo àwọn lọ́ba yẹn wọ́n máa ṣe wọ́n ní unity. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta, a ní about 170 Yorùbá cultural group. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, kí ni nǹkan tó difficult mẹ́ tó jẹ́ pé kí wọ́n yan representative méjì kí gbogbo wọn kó jọ máa ṣe meeting papọ̀. Mo wá rí i pé gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n dálẹ̀ yìí nísìnyìí, òun kálukú ń jà fún ẹgbẹ́ ni wọn ò jà fún ìran Yorùbá mọ́.
Ẹ ṣé sà.
Tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ ni wọ́n bá ń jà fún, ó yẹ kí gbogbo wọn kí wọ́n ṣe ẹyọ ọ̀kan, kí gbogbo wọn kí wọ́n mọ kí ẹgbẹ́ èèyàn méjì ní gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ kọ̀ọ̀kan kó jọ máa ṣe ìpàdé papọ̀. Bàbá wa ẹ dákun.
Ẹ ṣé sà. Alàgbà Sunny Lambe, mo fọlọ́run bẹ̀ yín. Ẹ̀yin lẹni kan package ẹ̀ even though wọ́n insist now.
Wọ́n pàdé dáadáa, wọ́n pàdé dáadáa.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, just one sentence to answer because I need to and I need
okay, ẹ fún mi ní 1 minute, but my answer mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta. Ẹ fún mi 1 minute. Ẹ̀yin máa kà. Ṣé number 1 tán sọ yẹn ti àwọn cultural groups yẹn. Yorùbá Nation Global Directorate ó sọ pé kí wọ́n yẹ each organization kan send representative mẹ́ta. Now, tó bá jẹ́ pé àwọn group yẹn wọ́n bá òótọ́ ni wọ́n fẹ́ ń palẹ̀ Yorùbá kan send representative mẹ́ta sí wọn. Tán bá kátà wọn yẹn ò bá tiẹ̀ ṣe dáadáa, á rọ̀rọ̀ sọ pé a send representative fún yín kí lẹ fi ṣe pẹ̀lú wọn. That's number 1. Then number 2 ń pa ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọba wa, àwọn bàbá wa ni wọ́n. A gbọ́dọ̀ insult wọn, a gbọ́dọ̀ rí wọn fín. Àwọn náà ó ní kó jẹ́ pé wọn ò fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀. Situation tán wà ni. Wọ́n ń lùlù lágídígbò. Àwọn ọlọ́gbọ́n ló máa rí bí kan rúùlù tán ń lù. Tá dẹ̀ máa jó sí. Kò ń ṣe pé wọn ò sọ̀rọ̀. Wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ń sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ń sábẹ́ ahọ́n ni. Ọlọ́gbọ́n ló máa jó, ọ̀mọ̀ràn ló máa mọ̀. A gbọ́dọ̀ rí wọn fín. A mọ̀ pé nǹkan ti gbàbọ̀dé bọ̀ kò ń ṣe gbogbo wọn. Wọ́n tán náà ti wà lóko ẹrú, Ọlọ́run já kúrò lóko ẹrú, number 2 yẹn. Then the final one nípa ti Baba Ahmed, ẹ fìyẹn lẹ̀. Kí ló kàn bá wù kán rúùlù ní Arẹwà for the next 1000 years, kò sí nǹkan tó kàn wá. Nígbà tá a bá ti lọ, kán máa rúùlù lọ, àwa náà dẹ̀ máa rúùlù tiwa, kò sí jà ń bẹ́ẹ̀, àbí? Tó, ẹ ṣé.
Thank you. Ìyẹn ṣókí. Yoruba Nation, please. 1 minute is 1 minute. Because
Good evening, Daddy.
Okay, good evening. Oh, how are you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm very well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my brother, my
My sister.
brother, Sunny Lambe. Yeah, I was just going to actually speak on your behalf with regards to you being like sort of having your hands in the pot. I would like to put my hands on my chest and say that cannot be possible. You're not that kind of person. You're a very honorable man, and you are just like me. You're here to serve, and that's just the British mentality that we have. So I don't think that question should have even been asked. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay,
Thank you, Sister Buki. Thank you.
All right, let me take the next question. So maybe you can use one stone to kill two birds, and then we can wrap up. Alagba Fatai, please, your question quickly, please. Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Fatai? Unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Please, quick, sir.
Yeah,
quick, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Eshegoni, thank you very much, sir. My darling brother.
My brother. Yes, sir.
Well, our counselor here has been a frontliner in our community service as Nigerians here, and the name has always been written in gold for a very long time. It's a man I love so much, and I can appreciate his commitment to our causes and commitment to what Yoruba is standing for now. When I always see him in the Global Directorate meeting, I always feel proud that he's a member of it. And goes to show that we are definitely on the right track. You are so highly respected, sir. Now, there is one thing I want to actually draw your attention to. What is happening now is like a mini political play. That is the issue of the unification of the Yoruba sort of agitation or Yoruba mission. Now, we are more than 3 million across the world. And whatever is happening now, in any circle, as long as it represents the interest of the establishment of Yoruba nation, must be very, very crucial in our heart. So the issue that is at stake as regards the issue of our identification rests on the shoulder of everybody. So if as hardworking as Global Directorate is, why is Global Directorate thinking that it is the only umbrella body that can take Yoruba nation to its destination? The reason why I'm asking for this is that as a body, you only represent a unit. And one of the reasons why this question is very important is because I said it's a mini political play. So are we, even when attaining Yoruba nation, going to be, sort of going into a sort of autocratic system whereby a single political party is going to emerge and tell you, yes, I'm the only political party that can, do everything for you? Because if not, that is the stance that the Global Directorate is having. And many other groups are imagining having the same mindset, the same sort of mission, and the same sort of campaign to the people that, oh, we are the umbrella body, come and join us. We have more than 10 of those unit bodies claiming that they are the one that will take us into that destination. Don't you think, as Otumba said earlier on, time is now nigh for us to actually create a new body whereby each individual groups will play its own part. For instance, one thing I really respect the Global Directorate for is when it comes to legal representation, they are excellent. They are well learned, they are well articulated, and everything there is perfect. But can they tell us that the vision of attaining Yoruba nation only rests on their shoulder, whereas we have other bodies? So this is where the disagreement is coming from. Can't they just be a bit accommodating to others? Not in terms of saying they want to accommodate them because they want to prove that they are the big umbrella. If we want to have that stand, it will not work. That's why we are calling everybody should come under a newly created umbrella so that a body can handle our legal aspect, the international relations aspect, the political aspect, the financial aspect. All these things now can unite us as a body, and we can say, yeah, right now we are having an umbrella body. Sorry for taking just to explain. Sorry, sir.
Thank you. Before I allow Councillor Lambert to respond. I have a couple of comments here on the chat board. One, I don't want to start mentioning it. There's one of them chat says exactly, we are too proud. That is one of our problems. Also, there's one that said too many chiefs and no Indians. That's an old saying, as the saying goes. And also this particular one said confirmed emphatically that what Amatekun observation is fantastic, like the German will say, is very good. So God bless him. And with the I also got a prayer from the person. That's good. Now, I have one person who also tried very hard to raise up her hand or his hand. Let me give that person just 1 minute also to contribute. Like I said, the final word will be after this. Ajoke, please, can you unmute and give us just 1 minute contribution or whatever you want to say? Ajoke, please. I hope she's still there or he's still there. Ajoke?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, please, can you 1 minute to contribute?
Yeah.
I saw you.
Yes, I'm sorry. Àwọn alàgbà wa náà ẹ ṣé gan ni. Nǹkan kan tí àwọn èèyàn ti sọ̀rọ̀ púpọ̀ náà, ṣùgbọ́n irú àwa yìí náà ta ìwà níta, nǹkan kan tó ń ṣe wá ní unity yìí, because irú ọjọ́ ìní yìí sìn a gbọ́ àwọn kan náà tí wọ́n wá sórí rédíò níbí báyìí tí wọ́n wá sọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe rally níbì kan tọ́ndẹ̀ ń sọ pé kò yẹ kán tún yan olórí kan níbì kan àbí kinní kan pé restructuring ìgbà kan, wọ́n really confuse irú àwa táì tí wọnú ẹ̀ débi pé kinní, because à ń wò pé níbo ni kinní yìí ń lọ. Nígbà tó yẹn bá tún wá ń wá, lóòótọ́ oníkálùkù ní ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ láti ṣe rally protest níbi tó bá wù wọ́n, ṣùgbọ́n the way tí wọ́n fi gbé ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kalẹ̀, a rí wípé kò tí ì sí àjọṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán láàárín gbogbo àwọn tá a fẹ́ tẹ̀lé yìí. Wọ́n ní charity begins at home. Kí la ṣe fẹ́ ṣerú gbogbo nǹkan báyìí sí? Ó jẹ́ ẹ̀dùn ọkàn fún wa, because tá a bá mú ká tó láti inú ilé wa wá ibi tá à ń lọ, ẹ̀rù ń bàyàn, ẹ̀rù ń bà wá níbi tó ń kó wa lọ. Because irú kéèyàn máa jà fúnra wọn yìí kì í ṣe ohun tó jẹ́ pé ó tọ́ sí wa lọ́wọ́ tá a wà yìí tá a bá fẹ́ gba kinní yìí. A dẹ̀ ń gbàdúrà k'Ọlọ́run mú wa délẹ̀ lérí, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jẹ́ a kọ́kọ́ tún gbogbo kinní wọ̀nyí ṣe. Kò dáa rárá, ẹnu ò tí kò. Ó náà lọ́wọ́ kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ congress, kí náà ti wọ́n ṣàdárúkọ wọn ṣá àwọn alàgbà náà. Àmọ́ wọ́n confuse àwa tá a ti mú sọ́rì. So ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa wá ọ̀nà láti pé kí gbogbo ẹ̀ kó lè dán mọ́rán. Mo ti gbàgbé orúkọ party world kinní kan congress ìtàn náà lọ́wọ́ kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Àwọn bàbá Adébánjọ kinní kan, nígbà táwọn kan sọ restructuring lábẹ́ Yorùbá yìí náà dẹ̀ ni, táwọn kan dẹ̀ tún sọ kinní, èwo ni a fẹ́ dìmú nínú gbogbo ẹ̀? Just èní yìí náà ni.
Ẹ ṣé mà.
Ẹ ṣé.
Ẹ ṣé mà, mo dúpẹ́ lọ yín, ẹ ṣé. Alàgbà councillors, again, because of the time, we all heard what everybody has got to say. I need to round up, but I want to give you the honor. You honored me to come to my show. I want to appreciate you. Thank you very much. Ejo, one word. One central body. Yes or no?
Are we, we question answer now. Oda Kani central body at the central body, which is Yoruba Nation Global Director. Timimo.
Okay, thank you.
Àfàgbàfẹ́nìkan ni ò jáyégún. Now tó bá jẹ́ pé wọn ò perfect, none of us is perfect. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ shape ẹ̀, ká má tún ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ nǹkan.
Okay, well, final word from my guest. Wọ́n gbà wípé ó yẹ ká ní ilé kan ká pè ní central body, but ibi tí àwọn wà tí wọ́n ń pè ní global directorate, ibẹ̀ yẹn ló yẹ kán fi ṣe ilé ńlá. Mo sure pé it's going to be another discussion. I'm very, very happy to be. I'm a very, very controversial person. Ain't that man? Like what I like. And that's why I became very popular on Ben Television. I'm going to go for it again. Let me assure you, boya next time tí máa pè boya kẹ́ kóyàn bí mẹ́ta dání láti global, because I want to deal with with this matter, this issue. I want to thank you
Emma
very
invite
much.
on. Sorry, Emma invite on. Shema Kwemi will represent one Bibai is the committee I represent tonight. So you have to invite them separately. I will only speak because I'm a member. Of course,
okay.
Yeah, I'll be happy
all right.
to.
Fair enough. I want to thank you very, very much for coming. I appreciate you. I want to say thank you on behalf of everybody here. And the last 2 hours, I want to do I want to say thank you very much. God bless you all. So it is bye-bye for now. Hopefully next Friday, same time, same place.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Time with
Thank
Otumba
you.
Who, with one-on-one with Otumba Who. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.